Let's start the conversation. So, guys, this week we were discussing, contemplation pointers, which were more about applied mindfulness in relationships. That how do we actually see things when it comes to our relationships and practical lives, and how do we apply mindfulness in this area? So, we are doing this with the help of contemplation pointers. So last week's contemplation pointer was that love is a one-way street, but relationships are not. Now, in today's call, we are going to explore the pointer that love is real, but it cannot be shown to us by others, right? So these sessions, these open calls are interactive. So we all feel that when all of us participate, share our experiences, stories, or ask our questions, it helps the group. It brings out beautiful, unique conversations rather than just us delivering just us delivering any presentation or any one-way communication. So you all are welcome to participate. And yes, so in these calls, anybody can talk. So any of you who wants to talk, you can just raise your hand or just unmute yourself and start talking when it's time. So yes, the pointer is love is real, but it cannot be shown to us by others. And we take this statement as true for the sake of discussion. So anybody wants to go ahead and share what could they contemplate about this? Any findings?
I can.
Please, please.
Yeah, so I did not think that I will initiate because initially when you have put this contemplation pointer, I wasn't thinking that I have anything to say. But suddenly, while you were saying, something got into my mind, and I thought, let me start. So, so I think I can relate to it because for me, like it was the biggest question since childhood, as in what love is. So I kept searching it everywhere. Um, like I had I had a bit I am an anxiety. Sorry, I'm kind of lost. I'm so sorry.
It's
So,
okay.
yeah, I had so many wounds. So basically, now I'm learning to love myself, like with your guidance only. So maybe now I'm realizing that self-love is the prerequisite. Until you understand what self-love is, until you learn to be comfortable with yourself, love yourself first, get settled within yourself, then only you will get to understand is what it is to love someone else. Otherwise you will be scattered. And I am kind of in middle of this, like after facing so much of chaos in my own life, chasing love in wrong ways and wrong direction and with full of anxiety. Now I'm kind of able to understand it. I'm still not there. I don't know how far it is, but this is what I'm realizing, that we have to settle within ourselves to receive it and to understand it, what love is. So basically, I read this quote somewhere that you don't love someone or someone else don't make you feel loved. You already have love within. You feel that love within yourself with someone. If it made sense. So so yeah, this is what.
Yes, that's beautiful.
In what way it made sense to you? What did you get out of that statement?
Because
How
how it
or
made.
how did you apply these statements?
Hmm. Because when this call started, suddenly some uh, uh, a thread of thought came into my mind that I was thinking what I have to discuss with you on the group, and and then suddenly I spoke in this group. So I was thinking like how anxious I used to be with with my dating partners or say my close friends as well. Like I was not even able to sit with myself if someone, so when I feel someone used to love me, but I was not able to receive it. Like I was not settled within. I was just running, as in they shouldn't leave me. They like, what if they don't feel me worthy after some time, due to many of my wounds, childhood wounds. That's what I was thinking. And now I was started realizing for myself that no, it is within me only. I have to make peace with it, and I should uh, I should explore the love within me. Then only I'll be able to cherish when others share it with me, or maybe I'll be able to share with them without any expectation. I don't know. I'm easy to say that done, but yeah. So basically, I first have to experience it within myself, for myself. Then only I'll be able to receive it from someone else or give to others.
mm,
Does it make sense now?
mm, mm, mm.
I don't know
Yes.
I did put it in the correct way or not.
No, no, it's okay. See, the thing is that to be honest, we already understand this statement. I was only trying to figure out that what have you realized.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So it's not so much about that you're trying to convince us about this statement, but I just wanted to hear what you have realized.
Hmm. And I assume you, even if I wasn't able to put it in correct words, but I am sure you both must have understood what I must be trying to convey.
Yeah, and I remember that earlier when we started the coaching work with you, you used to be so apprehensive about talking in the group or even sharing in the group or something.
Yeah.
Many a times I even pushed you to do that, but you were not ready, and now you are the first one who started talking here.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true.
Mm, mm. So, what does this tell you? What
That
has changed?
So sometime back only we were having some conversation in our group. So you were telling me, and that is what relating most to me at this moment. I made peace with or accepted wherever I am, with in whatever state I am. I stopped fighting with my current situation or what I want. I'm kind of learning to make peace with my present or the present moment.
Next,
And
what akarma is pointing towards is the things that you have written and the way you have shared. It's beautiful and it has always been there, right?
hmm,
So let's suppose at that point of time there were 300 people in the group. Did they
right.
tell you anything that if you post this would happen, we would, bully you?
No,
They
never.
didn't. Hmm.
No. It was my
Right?
fear only, basically.
Huh. Huh.
And this is not just you. I receive personal messages, many personal messages all the time, and I ask people that post in the group. And one of the things that is very common that they tell me is that I feel I don't know, people will judge and all that. And my answer to that is okay, if you're new to the group, I can understand that maybe just observe for a few days and see how it is. But someone who is old in the group, um, they can see that people are not judging, and there are so many people who are already sharing very vulnerably anything and everything, and so many people pour out so much support for them. But this statement, somehow we just stick to this statement that I'll say something and people will judge me.
Yeah.
What does this bring to us? I don't understand that. Okay, if you are new to the group, I can understand, but we need to observe also. No? We need to observe that is this really happening, or are we just sticking to an assumption we have made, and we just hold it so true that regardless of whatever is happening, whatever we are observing, we are overlooking everything, and we just stick to that assumption. No, no, people will judge. So even if someone
Mm.
is in the group for a month, 2 months, 3 months, they saying that people will judge. That's something to reflect on.
Mm. In fact, I was realizing something like from our group conversation only in the afternoon that also there is one more point. In fact, when people open up and share in the group, more in spite of judging, most of the people might relate to their stories, right? Oh, it happens to us
Exactly,
as well. अच्छा ये तो सबके साथ होता है, मतलब सिर्फ मेरे साथ नहीं हो रहा है. So I
exactly,
think वो
exactly.
केस ज्यादा होता होगा.
वो ज्यादा होता है. पीपल ऑल्सो स्टार्ट टू रिलेट कि मेरे साथ भी ऐसे है, ये है, वो है. सो नो वन इज जजिंग. इनफैक्ट पीपल आर इवन कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग एंड एडिंग फर्दर टू दैट कि ऐसा है या मेरे साथ भी ऐसे हुआ है, या ये ठीक हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा. पीपल आर गिविंग सपोर्ट कि मैंने ऐसे किया था, यू ट्राई दिस, यू ट्राई दैट. So many messages are floating. But what happens is that many people who stick to this kind of assumption, they're probably not reading the conversations also. So
Mm,
they don't read they don't read what is going on, and
right.
for that reason they just stick to that assumption. And I say assumptions are fine. In our life we cannot live without assumptions. So there is no problem in that. Belief assumptions are nothing but beliefs. So
Mm,
in our coaching language, we assume beliefs are nothing more than assumptions. They sound very odd to this, but if you sit and think a little bit more on that, and you will come to the conclusion that our beliefs are nothing more than assumptions. Because what I
because
believe
we
is
assume
true,
based on. Mm,
what I believe is true is not true for another person.
mm,
So somebody believes in totally opposite thing, and life works for them also. So life
mm,
is working for me with this belief. I believe there is God. Life is working. Somebody believes there is no God. Life is working for them also.
mm,
So they are also assuming. I am also assuming. So
right.
now the thing is that it's we can't live life without assumptions. That is there. However, the thing that we have to focus on is not so much about the belief or our value or our perception or our tradition or this is this and that. We don't hold that. What we need to see is this statement supporting me? Is this statement nurturing me? Is this statement empowering me? Is this statement helping me in moving ahead in life? Then stick to
Mm,
it. Then no problem. Continue with it. But if it's not, then it's only an assumption. There are millions and billions of assumptions. Just pick another one.
right. That's true.
Okay, Seema, your hand was up next.
Yeah, am I audible?
You
Yes,
are.
you are.
Okay. So, if we see today's topic, that love is real, but we cannot receive it from others, right? So, I think this comes to this that maybe we all are raised with some kind of conditioning belief system, which is maybe coming first from the parents, then it further when we grow up, like we catch up from people around us, then maybe we learn to please people, and then we all somewhere learn this that love is there because we can see in different relationships that love is there, but then somewhere we start feeling that I'm not capable of receiving love because maybe I don't feel worthy. So I think for me the contemplation point would be here is that why I feel that, from where it is coming. Like, I'm not judging myself, but still the question will come to me that love is there. I can see the living examples, I can feel it, but why I feel that I can't receive it, or vice versa. So I think there is something that is deep inside me which says that I'm not worthy. So that's what I feel. I mean,
So let's look at it from an example point of view. Let's say you say that in my
hmm,
home there is water,
okay,
um, but I am not able to get the water. But the water is there. So what is the
right.
problem?
I need to do some work, that is getting up and
No, give me the example. Let's stick to the water example. So water is coming in the tap,
okay.
but you're saying, but the water is not flowing. But you know the water is there. So what is the problem?
Problem is that water is there and I don't. I think
Yeah,
I'm not putting any
There's
effort.
a block somewhere.
I mean, I don't feel that
yeah. What is
there
that
is a
block?
water. I feel there
You
is no
haven't turned the
water.
tap on.
Yeah, so I'm just assuming before that. So it's like basically on my assumption.
Yeah. So if love is there and you yourself are saying, I'm not able to receive it, then
Hmm.
somewhere you are acknowledging it is there. And you're also
Mhm.
acknowledging that I'm not able to receive it. The problem
Yeah.
is very clear.
Yeah, so that's what I said, that it's coming from some blockage. I didn't use the word blockage, but I said that there is some conditioning or belief that made me feel that I'm not worthy of love, and that is why I'm not able to, pursue it. I know it is there, but then I don't believe in it. I don't feel that I can also get that. So it's a block.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing to. So when we talk about self-love or anything like that, then it's it's before we start doing something about anything. We always
Mm.
follow a simple process that before you start fixing an illness, you first need to diagnose it properly. So you
Yeah.
know that that is the case. Now there are few variations here,
Mm.
which needs to be kept in mind. Is that sometimes our diagnosis may not be correct, and that's okay. We would only know when we will start doing something. So let's say you've identified this blockage and you
Right.
start to work on it, and still it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
So then the problem could be that you didn't diagnose it correctly. Maybe this may be there, but there may be more problems as well. Or maybe this was not the problem. This was not the core problem. Something else was the problem. So you thought this is the problem, but it's
Yeah.
not. Or
Right.
along with this, there could be more problems as well that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So that's a problem in diagnosis. Another
Yeah.
issue that people also face is they'll say, "But I've done so much. I've tried it and I've done that." Then I'll say, "Then maybe your method is incorrect. Maybe you
Yeah.
diagnosed it correctly. You just took the wrong medicine,
Yeah.
or you took the right medicine, but then you didn't follow the right process. आपको डॉक्टर ने दवाई भी दे दी, सही दवाई भी दे दी, लेकिन आपने खाई ही नहीं जिस तरह से उन्होंने बताया खाने के लिए."
Right.
So many things could be there. We can't just jump straight to the conclusion कि ऐसे है. So all these things need to be observed. All these things need to be taken into account. That कोई अगर हम मेथड ट्राई कर रहे हैं तो
Mm.
वो मेथड कितना सही है कि वो कहाँ से आ रहा है, किसने बताया हमको कि ये मेथड कौन बोल रहा है, कोई बोल रहा है, कितने लोगों का फायदा हुआ है उससे. सो वी नीड टू बी अश्योर्ड एज वेल ना. आपको कोई कोई भी अगर आके कोई प्रॉब्लम, कोई इलनेस, अगर आपको कोई ऐसे ही कोई नई दवाई, नई ड्रग आ जाएगी आपको दे देंगे, तो विल प्रॉब्ली फील ना कि ये तो टेस्टेड ही नहीं है, हमें क्या पता इससे ठीक होगा या नहीं होगा. तो
Yeah. Right.
यू नीड टू
So you
ऑल्सो.
need maybe a evidence of it, or maybe some kind of like.
हाँ, कुछ तो अपनी थोड़ी तो एनालिसिस, थोड़ी तो वो करने की जरूरत है टू नो कि कौन बोल रहा है, आपको कौन बोल रहा है. क्योंकि बोलने के लिए तो बहुत लोग, बोलने के लिए तो बहुत कुछ बोलते लोग.
Right.
तो बोलने के लिए तो कुछ जाता नहीं है ना, फ्री.
Hmm. Free
तो
का ज्ञान is always.
ओपिनियन, हाँ ओपिनियंस तो सबके पास होते हैं, लेकिन उन लोगों ने ना तो अपनी लाइफ में वो प्रॉब्लम फेस की है कभी,
Yeah.
ना कुछ है. So theoretically they will say it should be like this, it should be like that, and you should be doing this, should be doing that. So first of all, avoid people who give you this ज्ञान and opinion on the basis of shoulds,
Yeah.
क्योंकि उन्होंने कुछ किया नहीं होता. They're just
Hmm.
coming from a very theoretical. This is one of the things वाई हमारे ग्रुप में भी कोई कॉन्वर्सेशन होते हैं, मैं सीधा किल कर देता हूँ उन कॉन्वर्सेशन को,
Right. Right.
क्योंकि they are not coming from experience, they are just coming from theoretical knowledge. Someone has read something, has heard something, this that, and they just start going कि this should be like this should be like that, गीता में ये लिखा है, कुरान में ये लिखा है, and all that. वो सब
These
बेकार
shoots
की
are
बात
very
हमें हम नहीं देखते.
dangerous. These
हाँ,
shoots are very
तो
dangerous.
वी शुड ऑलवेज क्वेश्चन कि ये कौन है, सोर्स कौन बोल रहा है आपको ये करने की, उनकी
Yeah.
अथॉरिटी क्या है, उनका क्या एक्सपीरियंस है, वो जो आपको बोल रहे हैं करने के लिए, उन्होंने खुद
Mm.
किया है, किसी से करवाया है,
Mm.
किसी को रिजल्ट आए हैं उससे, क्या है, सो यू इवेल्युएट दैट.
Yeah.
और अगर आपको फिर कॉन्फिडेंस ट्रस्ट आता है कि हाँ दिस सोर्स आई कैन ट्रस्ट, व्हाट दे आर टेलिंग मी आई कैन ट्रस्ट, देन फॉलो द प्रोसेस. तो फिर जो वो रेसिपी दे रहे हैं उस रेसिपी को फॉलो करो. फिर वो रेसिपी में ना खुद का चेंज मत करो और फिर बोलोगे कि वो डिश निकल के नहीं आई जो रेसिपी दी, फिर नहीं आएगी ना.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it is more than the healing process. I personally feel more than the healing process, diagnosis is very important. The right kind
Right.
of diagnosis, spend time in the right kind of diagnosis upfront, so you
Right.
don't waste time and you don't do hit and trial in your healing process. पहले थोड़ा सा टाइम लगा लो ठीक से ढंग से समझने के लिए कि कहाँ अटके हो, ब्लॉकेजेस कहाँ है, वेयर इज इट कमिंग फ्रॉम, एंड इट मे नॉट बी जस्ट वन ब्लॉकेज, इट कुड बी मोर देन वन ब्लॉकेज. तो पूरा समझ लो अच्छी तरह से.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Someone else had hand up as well. I think Payal
I guess
dropped out.
Payal wanted to, yeah, talk, but she dropped out. Anyone else would like to share anything? What you got from this pointer?
I can keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk, Suchi, if you want to share more.
No, but
Better
no,
than
what
silence.
I because what you said, I anyway I relate to most of them. Like because I like how much theoretical gyan I have received since childhood from so many people. And that was actually very theoretical. In fact, I was like this for a decade. Like I myself was like this, that I used to give gyan to others. Ki do this. Now I feel I used to be so irritating to my friends. Like those people are coming and they are just giving theoretical gyan. And when it actually comes to you, you are not able to handle it. So I can relate to it. That proper process or proper guidance is so important. Otherwise you will keep uh, you will just keep going in circle.
Yeah, very true. I agree with you. It's the first step of being aware about your block, and then taking the diagnose ahead by following it blindly, I'll say. Not using much of why is this and why. Like you said, that if you do not want to spoil the recipe, then sometimes I think where we need to blindly trust, we don't do it. We use a lot of logical mind and try to twist it in a way, maybe because of the
Exactly,
but
maybe
exactly, exactly.
but saying so, I also feel that getting lost is also very important. I mean, this is part of the process. Like, otherwise, you won't get to know the importance of the right direction. Like, as if you don't get lost, if you don't get into the wrong direction, how will you understand the importance of the right thing, which actually
no, no.
works?
No, no, I was not trying to say that. I was trying to say that sometimes we even come to know the diagnose from the GAN only and all, but
Right,
sometimes
right.
we get the diagnose from the experts, and they supposing I'm hiring a coach to go through my blockages, and they are suggesting me some things, and over there I become rigid or start like questioning them too much. No, no, this is not possible. That is where I'm using a lot of my own logic or my experience. They are experts, so I need to trust them that whatever they are suggesting must be with the experience, and they are the experts. So if I go to an ENT specialist and I'm telling him there is a blockage in my nose and my ear, so he'll be definitely suggesting me better. Yes, my experience may say that medicine will be good, but how do I know it will be like appropriate at that time? Why I'm approaching an expert?
Exactly.
Because
Right.
I'm not in a space to decide for myself. And rather than going in circles, I
Exactly.
need to trust somebody. So if I'm
Right.
even approaching the
You
people and then using my
looking.
logic that oh, this is not like this and this, and
Sometimes,
just
sometimes our own
You're
smartness
absolutely right.
hurt us even more. We just become too smart for ourselves. And we see that so much. As Anamika was saying before, I think Pooja was asking about clarity call, and she was talking about. So, Pooja, one of the biggest reason we do clarity call first is to actually weed out the smart thing, because नहीं हो सकता है. People who are just too smart, उनके साथ काम नहीं हो पाता है. तो
There
that is
was yeah,
हाँ
you finish first, Karma.
हाँ वो that is what I was saying कि अम, एक कोचिंग एंगेजमेंट में दोनों कोच नहीं हो सकते. किसी को तो क्लाइंट बनना पड़ेगा ना. तो जब दोनों ही लोग कोच का रोल करने लगे और कोई बताने लगे कि ऐसे करना चाहिए ऐसे करना चाहिए, तो काम नहीं होता है. तो उसमें कुछ मजा नहीं आता है, क्योंकि दिस इज नॉट हाउ वी प्रैक्टिस थिंग्स. हाँ, हम we don't say कि we can solve every problem and all that. So one of the reasons for clarity call is also that we can't solve the problem, and we may not be the right people. We have contacts with other coaches, other people that we know. So हमें कहीं लगता है कि ये हमारे बस का नहीं है, किसी और को देना, तो we will refer. So that is how this thing works. But the idea is that in coaching industry, one of the concepts is that the client needs to be coachable. And if the client is not coachable, doesn't matter how dire their need is, कितनी भी dire हो, कितनी भी urgency हो, if they're not ready, हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So we have to understand कि हमारी boundaries कहाँ हैं. तो हमें वो समझना पड़ता है किसी के साथ engage होने के लिए, क्योंकि it's not just that they are giving us fees. We actually put lot more time and effort in these engagements from our side, and we need to be very conscious about it कि हम अपने time और energy कहाँ लगा रहे हैं. हाँ नाम का over to you.
No, there was just this friend of mine who had shared, a quote somewhere, like maybe Instagram. And that was so funny. It was long back and it read that I all the time doubt my worth. But at the same point of time, I think nobody is intelligent enough to help me solve it. Something like that it was. Right. So it's
what
like,
really, really.
a lot of
Yeah, this
so
is true. This is
yeah, so
that's the thing. Yeah.
I am not intelligent enough, but there's nobody else who's more intelligent than me. And that's where we get stuck. Yeah, Ashwini, you want to say something?
Actually, I don't want to say anything, but if no one has anything else to say, then I would, can I request you to elaborate on the contemplation pointer for today? Love is everywhere, but no one can show it to you except yourself. अब मुझे समझा ही नहीं है कुछ.
So the pointer is love is real, but it cannot be shown to us by others. So there are no other words like accept ourselves and or anything. Right. So this is the point that it is real and it cannot be shown to us by others. Right. So we will get into like sharing what we feel about it. But in case anybody else, because we don't want to break, we want to share everything just right away. So, yeah, anybody else wants to say what they got out of it? Yeah, Kumar, Vanshika, you guys want to add anything? Hmm. Akarma, you want to say something?
No, no, it just I just accidentally turned it on. So
Okay.
you can take it forward. I think no one has to say. Then you can explain the point of it.
Cool. So, this pointer that love is real, but it cannot be shown to us by others. So it can have like, we can discuss it like for so long. This is very much interlinked to the topic of self love. So there are two things which are coming to my mind right now. So I will share those things. So the second part of the sentence says that it cannot be shown to us by others, right? So when we are children and we are growing up, so we all want to, be loved and heard and appreciated and celebrated, and we want the physical touch of our parents. We want to be loved unconditionally and everything, right? So until we are kids, okay, fine, we are just dependent on them for survival, so we expect it from them. But as we grow up, when we don't get these things, when either we get these things like way too much, parents are like overbearing, or maybe they are like totally unavailable, we don't get it at all. Either way, um, we start clinging to pleasure and we start resisting pain, right? Because the moment we get it, we feel so happy, we feel so loved. And the moment we don't get it, we feel so low, we feel so sad, we feel like our whole world has shaken, right? So now, at that point of time, we have developed a perception, we have developed our wounds, our beliefs, conditionings, and everything. And there starts a story where we start looking for that love all the time from other people. And maybe we are lucky enough to get it. And even if we get it, there still will be times when we won't get it, right? Because life has changed, life is impermanent. If you go on a vacation, you cannot keep being on a vacation for your whole life. You have to come back home, right? When you're home, you can plan for a vacation. So life in itself is change, but our condition becomes external to feel that love. And we get it, we are so elated. The moment we don't get it, we are like so depleted. So when things happen the way we want, we want things to be, we are happy and we feel loved. And when they don't happen the way we expected, we we just shattered down. So all these conditions are going to be there outside, but there is one constant in all of these situations, and that constant is you, me, in our own lives, right? So it is now about seeing that, how coming to the first part, love is real. It's seeing that what is that permanent thing, that one thing which is there, and rest everything is impermanent. It changes, emotions change, situations change, people change, and whatever is born is going to die, right? So it's not as if it's going to stay forever. So what stays forever? And when we come to the core of ourselves, it's love, right? And be it that in the earlier discussion we talked about love is a one way street. Why is it a one way street, right? Because the separation that we see, that I love you and you love me. So because the I is changing constantly all the time. I'm not the same Anamika who started this all, right? My body has changed, my emotions have changed, my mind has changed, my experience has changed after talking to like 15 people here. I'm not the same person. Same, you, all the people who joined, you are also not the same person. So if I am changing, if you are changing all the time, constantly, then what is the constant? And that constant is love, because that was there, that is there, and that is going to be there, right? So that is the first thing I wanted to share. And the second thing was, when we talk about, self love. So it's I won't talk about self love today, because self love ka definition is like too hard to give, and it's subjective. People see it as per their own perception. But I'll ask another question: where does the self begin and where does it end? Hmm. So once you figure out, we have talked about love. Love is constant, but self. So what is that self that we are trying to love? Right? Is it the body? Is it your thoughts, your perception, your emotions, uh, your experiences? What is that self when we say self love? Right. So that is another part from my side. That's all is coming to my head. Akarma, over to you.
Mhm. So, um, yes, Sanket wants to say something. Sanket, go ahead, then I'll talk. Sanket,
Yeah,
unmute
I just
yourself.
have a yeah. Good evening, all. Yeah, I just wanted to ask that as Anamika was telling that, and we have discussed it in the previous call as well, that love is a one-way street, right? So,
Yeah.
why is it only with humans? Because when we love our pet or when we love uh, an animal who we keep with us, it's a two-way street, and they reciprocate in the same way. But when it comes to human, we say it as a one-way street, and it becomes measurable. It becomes
Mm, well,
comparable. Why
so,
is it?
uh, okay, I'll answer this question because this question has come up many times. Almost every time we talk about the concept of love, this question comes up. And I'll ask you one thing. You have a pet?
No, I don't have, and for that I have reasons. But I do love animals.
I'm so sorry. I'm a
Uh,
little confused about Sanket's question. Uh, so Sanket, you're saying that with animals it's one-way street and
No,
with
it's not.
humans
It's
it's
not.
not.
It's no. With
Okay.
animals, it's not one way. They
Okay.
reciprocate the same way we love, right? And it's
Oh,
unconditional.
okay. Okay.
But when it comes to human in
uh,
different relationships and various relationships,
Okay, I
it
got your
becomes
with
question.
animals also, it's not unconditional, Sanket. And I'll tell you, you can experiment with it. Since you don't have a pet, um,
mhm.
I have pets, and I can assure you, try this. You have a dog, you beat that dog every day, and then see that after a week or after a month, how much reciprocation you will get from that dog.
No, but that is a different feeling altogether. Beating someone is a different. But if
No,
you
you
give
said
love to a
unconditional,
pet,
na? You said unconditional. Unconditional means regardless, however I treat. So if you love someone, they give you that animal gives you love back.
yeah, but that doesn't happen in case of humans. We love someone with whole heart,
No, not all
and still
humans.
we don't get it
No,
back.
no, no. There are plenty of human beings who will reciprocate well as well. So not all human beings are like that. You are saying that all 8 billion people are like that. You mean you are
No,
like
no,
that?
I'm not
Someone
saying
will love you
no,
and
no.
you will not reciprocate?
I'm not. I'm not saying for everybody, but in most of the cases, because it becomes measurable, right? We start comparing the love, the quantity of the quantum of love we give we expect the same kind of love from the person whom we are giving, right? We cannot quantify
What is
it,
the
but
question?
it,
What is it that you're trying to ask? Question
no, no.
kya hai?
My question is, in case of humans, why it is not a two-way street? Why it is a one-way street?
I guess you didn't attend the last call, Sanket.
I was there, but I had to drop it because of some emergency, so
Okay.
I could not attend it
Mhm.
complete.
Okay. So the contemplation
Maybe
pointer
then.
was, yeah, that love is a one-way street, relationships are not. And in that, I mean, I'll be sharing the recording, and I have literally used the word, it's impossible for any relationship of mind and matter to exist without conditions. मतलब ये I'm not saying this because मतलब just because this is my experience. This is quantum physics or metaphysics, or you read any science, you read any scripture, it's it's the same, because this is the universe of give and take. This is the universe of giving and receiving. This is the universe of cause and effect. So cause and effect cannot exist in isolation. It's not possible that only cause exists and effect does not, and vice versa. And that is why it's literally impossible for anything to exist the way we see it. हमारा हमारा बहुत छोटा अभी परसेप्शन है इन दिस रियलिटी. सो जहाँ हम एग्जिस्ट करते हैं वहां पे तो नहीं पॉसिबल है. ठीक है, तो दैट इज व्हाट वी डिस्कस देयर. एंड love is a one way street and relationships are not. So relationships with anything, we discussed at that time, that at the end, if you बहुत surface level पे भी we observe, it is conditional. It is because हम wired ऐसे हैं कि हमें आता ही नहीं कि हम अपने अलावा naturally कुछ सोच सकें, right? Because it's just how we are wired. So it's sometimes visible, sometimes it's not. But if we see, we are mostly thinking about ourselves. And when we say that we are thinking about somebody else, we think that we are thinking about them, but we are not thinking about them. We are thinking about what would happen to us if that thing which is happening with them happens or does not happen. So that was
Okay.
like the gist of the last discussion. Yeah. So now, what is your question? I just want to share this so that, if you get clarity. And
No, my question stands exactly where it was.
Yeah, I
Like
think his question is
I
not answered. But his question is answered.
okay.
Um, so his question is why people don't reciprocate.
yes.
They don't reciprocate because they just don't know how to reciprocate. Which so many people are carrying so many wounds, blockages, all that. But
But still
his question
they
can be
expect, but still they expect whatever is the scenario, wounds and things going in their life. Even if I talk about myself, because I don't know how the other person is thinking, but even if I'm going to the worst phase of my life, I expect somebody to give me that kind of a love, that affection, that everything. But when it comes to reciprocate or to to make it a mutual feeling, uh, why a human fail?
as I said, because we are carrying a lot of emotional wounds, traumas, blockages, which we haven't resolved, we haven't healed. That's why we fail. So it's not that like you joined late. It's not that it's not there. It's blocked. We are capable of doing it. If we are not able to
Yeah.
do it, that doesn't mean we are not capable of doing it. It means there are blocks.
Okay, so is it okay to mm, make somebody realize that, or in other words, can that person be aware about the situation, that that it does exist, as you said, that feelings and then love and everything is there. But due to some wounds and the blockages, he is not actually aware about the
Okay.
actual feeling,
Hmm.
or just
Yeah. So,
behave like
so,
in that sense.
so very, very simple answer to your question. Let's say if you're talking about your wife or your partner, then if you two are having conflict, you will not be able to make them aware of it because you two are in conflict. So anything you will say, they will not receive it. So, and vice versa. Same thing goes for you also. If you are in conflict, someone tries to tell you something, not because our egos come in between. So people realize these things on their own. You can present them with options of awareness. You can tell them, but whether someone realize or not, you can't force realization on someone. We can't force realization. We are here talking. So there is almost 20 people on the call. Who realizes what? We can't control that. We can only talk. We can only share. We can only make things available for awareness. Whether the awareness comes or not come, that depends on the blockage itself. If the person is not able to receive, not able to hear, then no. And life will bring them to that point. So this is truth of life, that when we get challenged, when life doesn't work out for us anymore, until things are working out for them, they'll keep doing it. The day when we have nowhere to go, when our back is against the wall, we have hit the rock bottom, and we see that life is not working, none of my relationships are working, I'm not going anywhere, that is when the person is pushed towards self realization. That is when they realize. उससे पहले आप कितने भी कर लो, कुछ भी कर लो.
Yeah, I have
So
one question for Sanket. I mean, I'm still thinking how do I frame it, but I was just say whatever's coming. So you are saying that you show love to the other person, but that person is not reciprocating that love back to you. So the question which is coming in my head, that was that love in the first place? Um, yeah, that's exactly what's coming to my head, because your focus is on.
yeah, so my
Hmm,
question was in sync with the topic of contemplation. What topic we are discussing? That the love is a one-way street. So
That
it
was last week's contemplation pointer. That's not this week. This week is different.
no, just now before I asked my question, I think Anamika was talking on that line. So that
hmm.
uh,
Even today's topic is related to the question which I'm asking you, that love is real, but it cannot be shown to us by others.
That is what you are trying to say. Can I show them? And that's
no,
what the
no.
line says. It cannot be shown by others. And you are asking the same question.
Why?
Can we
Yeah,
show
yeah.
them?
So why humor? Why we fail, or why it is not?
Why it is not? Like I said, wounds, blockages, heal
I
in
yeah.
unhealed
I
state.
now I yeah. So somewhat I got it. Somewhat I got the essence of it, like due to some blockages and the conditioning
Yeah,
and or
correct. Correct. They've been through some traumas, not trusting others, not trusting, lack of self worth. I'm not lovable. How can this person love me? So people have these kind of things. Someone is showing up. They feel कि कुछ hidden agenda होगा. उनको कुछ मतलब रहेगा. And they've been burned. They have mistrust something. So traumas, woundings, all these things prevent us from receiving it. तो कोई कर भी रहा है, उनको चाहिए भी और मिल भी रहा है, तभी भी दे हैव लो सेल्फ वर्थ. उनको लगता है मेरे को कैसे, लाइक व्हाट इज दिस पर्सन फाइंडिंग इन मी. कुछ तो हिडन एजेंडा रहेगा, कुछ तो चाहिए रहेगा इनको.
right.
तो दिस इज व्हाट prevents them from receiving it. That is why we are saying you cannot show it to the other person. They have to see it themselves.
True. Very true.
So this topic just reminds me that maybe just take one step back and see that when we talk about love, then largely speaking, there could be more variations also, but largely speaking, people have three different versions of love. So, although all these people will be using the word love, but they mean different things. For some people, love is a feeling. For some people, love is an act. And for some people, love is a state of being. So, until love is a feeling and until love is an act, you will be seeking it outside. जब तक आप लव को फीलिंग की तरह ट्रीट करते रहोगे, एक्ट की तरह ट्रीट करते रहोगे, यू विल बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन अदर्स, क्योंकि आपको वो फीलिंग बार बार चाहिए। किसी ने आपके लिए कुछ किया, किसी ने आपके लिए कुछ बोला, तो यू फील गुड, तो यू फील लव्ड, एंड नाउ यू वांट दिस थिंग टू बी केप्ट रिपीटिंग। और जब बंद होता है, वेरिएशन होती है, तो यू फील कि अब दैट अदर पर्सन डजंट लव मी। सो दैट अगेन कम्स फ्रॉम ब्लॉक्स, again comes from wounding, comes from neediness, comes from codependency. But when we see that love is a state of being, that is when we are talking about self-love. When it becomes a state of being, then it is not dependent on others anymore. Then it's not a feeling. It, it's just a state of being. That is how you are. So then वो reciprocation, no reciprocation, give and take, one-way street, two-way street, all those things just drop. मीनिंगलेस हो जाती है वो सब चीजें।
Right.
So reaching that state of being is when you come out of all these questions itself. फिर ये आंसर फेस करने की जरूरत, आंसर क्या, वो क्वेश्चन ही ड्रॉप हो जाते, क्वेश्चन ही इनवैलिड हो गए, तो आंसर्स का तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं बना। फिर फाइंडिंग हाउ डजंट मेक एनी सेंस, देयर इज नो हाउ फॉर दैट। बट अंटिल आई कीप सीइंग लव एज अ फीलिंग, लव एज एन एक्ट, आई विल बी डिपेंडेंट। I would need reciprocation. I would have expectations.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, Karma. It does make sense.
Okay. So when I realize that it's there, it's just there. It's not that someone will show me, someone will do something, someone will make me feel this way, that way. Then only I will realize the love. When I see that it's there, then it's never gone. Then I can never lose it. And then I'm open to receive it from others also. क्योंकि वो रिसीविंग में कुछ प्लस माइनस नहीं है। मेरा कुछ जा नहीं रहा है, ना तो मेरा कुछ बढ़ रहा है, ना मेरा कुछ कम हो रहा है उस रिसीविंग में। आई कैन वेरी ग्रेसफुली रिसीव इट बिकॉज आई ऑलरेडी हैव इट। अब कोई शो कर रहा है तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है, नहीं शो कर रहा है तो भी कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। पर जब तक मैं उसको फीलिंग की तरह और एक्ट की तरह ट्रीट करता रहूंगा, तब तक प्लस माइनस लगा रहेगा, तब तक कम ज्यादा ट्रांजेक्शन चलती रहेंगी, तब तक आई विल हैव एक्सपेक्टेशन। तब तक अगर मैंने ज्यादा कर दिया, उसने कम कर दिया, मैंने इतना किया, उन्होंने नहीं किया, मैंने इतना करता रहता हूँ, इतना देता रहता हूँ, बट देन दैट पर्सन इज नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग, क्योंकि देन आई एम ट्रीटिंग इट एज अ एक्ट। तब बार बार
Very true.
देखने दिखाने की जरूरत पड़ती रहती है। जब वो देखने दिखाने की जरूरत ही ना पड़े, जब वो सिर्फ हो, तो फिर ये फाइट से ही बाहर आ गए ना।
Mhm.
Anyone else has anything to say on this?
I guess Ashwani posted something on the chat box. So I'll just read it out. Hi, the conundrum I feel is love without expectations may be perceived as a relationship without healthy boundaries. Hmm. So, love without expectations may be perceived as a relationship without healthy boundaries. Okay. Okay, I guess Ashwini just left the call, but uh, as we talked about, this is more linked to the last session we did, that love is a one-way street and relationships are not, right? So, in that session, I would just say that Ashwini, please go back and listen to that session also. So there we talked about, these two things, that love can be intact in its own place, while when it comes to relationships, there is give and take, there are transactions, there are boundaries, there is connection, there is belonging. We all have our own needs, and we have, because if we are in this form and the way we live, we have to meet those needs. We have to set our healthy boundaries, and we have to perform. We live in duality, cannot do anything. So that in relationship actually shows as a form of love, because when we do not have these things, we go on either of the extremes. When we are pleasers or we don't set boundaries, we are just becoming, doormats for people. That is also coming out of fear. And when we start to control everything, that is also coming out of fear, right? That the fear of being alone or the fear of losing control, myriads of fear, many fears, but the root is fear. And when we say love, so what it has to be like feared when it's the space of love. A relationship stays, does not stays. Love is intact in its own place because it has nothing to do with, the operational transactional things. So these things can coexist together, right? So that is what
I
we talked about.
I have I have one more example I want to give in this. So see, when we see human beings, when we talk about relationships, then relationships are much more than just love. There are shared responsibilities, expectations that are there. All these things exist. That's why we call that relationship is a two-way street. There has to be give and take, not just about love. Now we have to see these two things separately for a minute to understand these statements. Until we keep mixing them, we will not be able to see it. So see that these two things are running in parallel. Let's say, for example, you plant a tree and you say, I love this tree. And then that tree grows and gives you fruits and all that. And you say, see, unconditional love. This tree is giving me fruits and giving me shades and all that. Is that tree doing that? Or is that your perception? Is that your conclusion? Because that seed, अगर वो जंगल में होता तभी भी वो पेड़ वैसे ही उगना था, तभी भी वो फ्रूट वैसे ही आना था, तभी भी वो शेड वैसे ही आना था. आप कर रहे हो और आपको लग रहा है मेरे करने से ये अब मेरे को ऐसा दे रहा है, सी हाउ अनकंडीशनल दिस ट्री इज एंड इट गिव्स विदाउट एनी एक्सपेक्टेशन एंड ऑल दैट. वो तो वैसे ही करना था, वो तो इट इज. ये तो हमारी अपनी कंक्लूजन है ना कि वो ऐसा कर रहा है. तो हम ट्रीज को या हम पेट्स को या हम ऐसी चीजों को हम इस नजरिए से देखने लगते हैं, ये ऐसे है. बट जब ह्यूमन बींग्स की बात आती है तो हम उसको नहीं देख पाते क्योंकि वहां पे एक सर्टन लेवल ऑफ communication, expectation, understanding, responsibilities are there. You don't expect any responsibility from your dog. You don't expect your dog to be cooking at home, cleaning. So you plant a tree, you don't expect that tree to be taking care of the house, to be paying the bill, to be doing this or that. तो हम क्यों कंफ्यूज होते हैं जबरदस्ती के एग्जाम्पल्स लेके इसमें? क्योंकि वो तो वैसे ही हैं. वो तो आपके घर पे वो ट्री नहीं लगता, कहीं और लगता तो वैसे ही होना था. अगर वो सीड स्प्राउट हो रहा है, आपके घर में हो रहा है, तो जंगल में भी हो जाता, और जंगल में भी वैसे ही पेड़ उगता, वैसे ही फ्रूट्स आते, वैसे ही फ्लावर्स आते, वैसे ही शेड आने वाला था। तब तो आप होते भी नहीं उसको देखने के लिए। तो इट्स नॉट दैट ट्री इज गिविंग, द ट्री इज जस्ट इज। वो ट्री अपना काम कर रहा है, आप हो या नहीं हो, आपके आप उसको पानी दे रहे हो और ये सब कर रहे हो, इसकी वजह से नहीं वो आपको फ्रूट्स या वो शेड दे रहा है। वो तो वैसे ही होना था। तो when you start to see things as is, rather than putting these perceptions and these conclusions on top, ये देखो ये तो कितने अच्छे हैं, ये तो रेसिप्रोकेट करते इस तरह से, ये तो ऐसे कर रहे वैसे कर रहे, ये नहीं कर रहे, ये सब हमारी कंक्लूजन, ये सब हमारे परसेप्शन। अगर हम चाहें तो इंसानों को भी वैसा देख सकते हैं, और हम देखते नहीं, हम देखना नहीं। अगर आप चाहो तो इतनी अच्छाई आप दूसरे इंसान में भी ढूंढ सकते हो, जितनी एक पेड़ में ढूंढ रहे हो या एक डॉग में ढूंढ रहे हो, बट हम नहीं देखते। अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है क्यों, उसका वही आंसर आता है क्यों, क्योंकि हमारे पास जो हमारे खुद के ब्लॉकेजेस, ईगो है, ब्लॉकेजेस हैं, ट्रॉमा है, वूंड्स हैं जो हमने हील नहीं किए। तो ना हमें दिख रहा है, ना हम देख पा रहे हैं, ऑल दैट। ट्री में या डॉग में हमको वो नहीं दिखता है, उससे हमारी ईगो क्लैश नहीं होती है, उससे हमारे वूंड्स ट्रिगर नहीं होते हैं, इंसानों से होते हैं। तो अब अगर कोई इंसान आपके वूंड्स ट्रिगर कर रहा है, और अगर एक पेड़ वूंड्स ट्रिगर नहीं कर रहा है, तो उसमें उस इंसान और उस पेड़ का क्या रोल है? वूंड्स तो आपके खुद के हैं। तो वाई द फोकस इज आउटसाइड, ये बेटर है वो बेटर नहीं है, क्योंकि उसने आपका कप छलका दिया, उसने आपका कप नहीं छलकाया, कप तो आपका ही भरा हुआ है। दिस एग्जाम्पल मेक्स एनी डिफरेंस, मेक्स एनी सेंस, और ऐसी बात कर रहे? Can I get anything from the group? Like, is this conversation going too far, or is it making sense?
Yeah, it is. But then another question comes as whether is it a true love that what we are saying that the partner or the spouse is not cooking or not taking care of the house, and that's the reason we expect certain things out of any relationship. Then the, is the
But इससे ना
feeling or the love
रिलेशनशिप आर
true?
टू वे स्ट्रीट, तो वो गिव एंड टेक, वो फंक्शनैलिटी तो चलनी चाहिए ना, दुनियादारी वो फंक्शनैलिटी नहीं चलेगी तो सोसाइटी कैसे वर्क करेगी?
नहीं, वो
देयर इज एन
रिलेशनशिप के
इंटरडिपेंडेंस।
पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से तो समझ में आया, बट अगर वो हम लव के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात कर रहे हैं तो वो लव है क्या, वो ट्रू लव है भी क्या?
हाँ, तो लव क्या है कि जब वो कर रहे हैं तो मैं बहुत खुश हूँ एंड आई एम शावरिंग देम विद लव। जब वो नहीं कर रहे
राइट,
हैं तो फिर आई होल्ड दैट बैक। तो वहां पे
एग्जैक्टली,
तो
सो
मेरा
दैट
लव फिर
फीलिंग इज नॉट ट्रू।
ट्रांजेक्शनल ही हो गया ना।
हाँ, वो ट्रू लव
हाँ,
है ही नहीं फिर वो।
हाँ, वो
देन
तो
दैट लव इज
रिवॉर्ड
नॉट
की तरह मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ ना, वो तो मिठाई की तरह, वो तो रिवॉर्ड की तरह मैं चूज कर रहा हूँ, तो फिर लव कहाँ है उसमें?
एग्जैक्टली।
हाँ, तो दैट इज व्हाई वी आर सेइंग ना, लव इज अ वन वे स्ट्रीट। तो अगर है तो है, फिर वो नहीं कर रहा है या कर रहा है, उससे अगर आपका डिफरेंस आ रहा है तो फिर वो लव है ही कहाँ?
Then the only love exists is through self love, what Anamika was saying, right?
If you are capable of loving yourself, so let's look at it this way. Self love meaning what? Self love meaning कि we are all made up of black and white। ना तो हम पूरी तरह से राम हैं, ना हम पूरी तरह से रावण। हम दोनों ही हैं, हमें अच्छाइयां भी हैं, हमें बुराइयां। सेल्फ लव डजंट मीन कि आपको रावण को राम में कन्वर्ट करना। सेल्फ लव मीन्स कि रावण को रावण की तरह एक्सेप्ट करना है और राम को राम की तरह एक्सेप्ट करना है। तो यू एम्ब्रेस एवरीथिंग अबाउट यू। यू एम्ब्रेस कि यस, दिस इज व्हाट इट इज, आई एम लाइक दिस एंड आई एम लाइक दैट, सो इट डजंट डिस्टर्ब मी एनीमोर। जब आप उस स्टेट पे पहुंच जाते हो, जब आप उस स्टेट पे पहुंच जाते हो, तो अगर वो स्टेटमेंट आपके लिए ट्रू है, तो फिर तो पूरी दुनिया के लिए ट्रू है ना. तो फिर आपको दूसरों में भी रावण नहीं दिखने लगता है ना, या दिखने भी लगता है तो यू एक्सेप्ट दैट ऑल्सो ना. Does that answer anything for you, Sanket?
Yeah, it does, but not completely because again, then self love की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं कि राम और रावण हम लोग सब हमारे अंदर दोनों है एंड वी सी हम राम को रावण नहीं बना सकते और रावण को राम नहीं बना सकते. बट देन सेल्फ लव इज ऑल्सो अबाउट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ आवर सेल्फ. लाइक अगर हम अपना ध्यान रख रहे हैं, अपने खुद को हार्म नहीं कर सकते, खुद की परवाह करते हैं, वी डोंट हर्ट आवर फीलिंग, वी डोंट हर्ट आवर फीलिंग्स एंड सो दैट इज ऑल्सो सेल्फ लव. अब भले ही मैं अपना बहुत अच्छा ध्यान रखूं, मैं बहुत अच्छे रेस्टोरेंट में जाके खाना खाऊं या ना खाऊं या मैं सादा खाना खाऊं, बट स्टिल आई लव माई सेल्फ. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू लविंग समबडी एल्स, इट बिकम्स ट्रांजेक्शनल एज यू वर सेइंग. व्हाई इज इट सो? मतलब वो एक
It
still
is
it is a
so
question.
because I still haven't learned self love, because I still don't know self love. Self love का सिर्फ मतलब ये नहीं है कि मेरे को अपनी बॉडी का ध्यान रखना है, मेरे को अच्छा खाना खाना है, अच्छी नींद लेनी है, ये करना है, एक्सरसाइज करनी है. That's not self love. That's a self care. That's important. That's not self love. Self love means accepting yourself, accepting your design. If you can accept your design, you can accept anybody else's design. And if you say, I accept my design, and you say, I don't accept other people's design or they still disturb me, then I'm saying to you, then you still haven't reached self love. Then don't keep telling yourself कि मुझे तो आ गया करना, मुझे तो आ गया करना. I'm saying नहीं आया, अभी और काम बचा है, अभी और करना बाकी है. So जल्दी से उसको खत्म मत कर दो उस टास्क को, ये बोल के कि मैंने तो कर लिया, मेरा तो हो गया. नहीं हुआ. So I'm not saying you are on the wrong track. I'm saying track hasn't finished. क्योंकि रियल सेल्फ लव आपको उस दिन समझ में आएगा जिस दिन आपको बाकी लोगों में भी वो चीज डिस्टर्ब नहीं करेगी.
Okay.
अगर वो डिस्टर्ब कर रही है तो अभी पहुंचे नहीं हो वहां तक,
Mhm.
अभी पिक्चर बाकी है. So continue finding the triggers, continue finding the wounds, continue finding the trauma, continue to do the healing work until that day comes when you feel at peace. Then you can say, now I have peace.
And one thing I want to add when this comes to, I didn't say, I didn't use this language that, the only way for you to love yourself is by self love. I didn't say that. I said that where does the self begin and where does it end? So, a lot of times, not just for you, I'm telling this for in general, that a lot of times when people get this idea, right, that the only way to love yourself, the experience love is by loving yourself. uh, that is also uh, an extreme. So the thing is that self, as we are like getting into this topic, so I'll just talk about it a little, that what would you call self? Your beliefs and your conditions, your emotions, because these all things change at the time. Your body, your thoughts, because your thoughts are changing. You're getting like 70,000 thoughts averagely every day. You feel differently every single day. Your body changes. You're aging. You will be old someday, and we will all eventually die someday. So does our existence end with that? It certainly does not, according to us. Well, so self-love, it's really important that first people um, get into this definition of self. So self love is not just limited to that. And जब हम ऐसा बोल देते हैं ना कि by loving ourselves, तो हम एक बहुत ही wounded state से आ रहे होते हैं कि नहीं, हमें तो कोई प्यार नहीं कर सकता, इसीलिए हमें खुद को प्यार करना है. The thing is कि it's there, love is there within and outside. ये distinguish हम कैसे करेंगे? Because the air I am breathing, maybe you have you breath the same air wherever you are. I became that air, you became that air, like someday somebody else would become that air. How do you say that the air in my room is not connected to the air in your room? Right? So, इसके लिए, yes, I would also, that's a good thing. Self-care is amazing, but self-love is not self-care. When we are doing this, if it is still coming from a state which doesn't make us feel lighter, doesn't make us feel closer to alignment, right? Alignment means what? Alignment does not means I align with myself. Who am I? Where have I come from? Where am I going? I'm aligning with what? What is that self I'm actually aligning with? So it's, I was just saying that if it is still coming from that point of view, that I will love myself because now I know that nobody is going to love me. It's there in us, it's there within us, without us, right? So we are talking about seeing it as it is just there. Love is there, it's right there, right? So when you see it from the perspective of just give and take, I'm not saying don't do that. Of course, in relationships, we operate here. We are functional. We get into relationships. We make families, make kids, operate in this world. And good and bad both exist. So, so it's not self-love. When it actually happens, it doesn't come from that space. Yeah, so that's just a checkpoint. Yeah, Akarma.
Ronak's hand was up. Ronak, your hand is down now. Do you want to say something or your question got answered?
Oh, I had one question. So, when
Yeah.
you said that there are three kinds of perspective of love, which was one was we see love as act, or someone see love as feeling, and the third one you said love as state of being. So, if our perspective of love is, let's say, act or feeling, is it possible that we can move to a state of being? Because then is no suffering,
Yes.
is no pain.
Yes.
If it is yes,
Short
then
answer is yes.
how is it?
Yes. Good question. How is it? Is again, as we said, simple answer, simple language, simple answer. As said, it is there. But if we are not able to receive it, that means our ego, our perceptions, our wounds, our traumas, our conditioning, all these things are coming in the way. So by bringing our focus on those things, by bringing our awareness to those things, that what it is that is blocking me. When I start to see my blocks, when I start to work on them one by one, start to eradicate them one by one, then we does that answer your question, Rana?
So when you said, I think there was some network problem. So when you told eradicate the love, after that I couldn't hear.
Uh, so what point you heard until?
So you told ki we have to identify our wounds and what triggers us, and then we
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
eradicate after
yeah.
that.
So we call this, in general, we call this a healing process.
Hmm.
So healing process is not one process. We just use this term as like an umbrella statement to say we are on a healing journey, we are healing ourselves. Now, what we are healing, what traumas we have identified, what wounds we have identified, what unwanted experiences we have identified, conditionings that we want to get rid of, then the actual process will be different. Let's say, for example, if you are not able to set healthy boundaries with someone, then what you need to do in order to set healthy boundaries, there will be a certain process for that. If you have insecure attachment styles, the way you attach yourself with people and situations and all that, they are unresourceful, what we call insecure. So there are three types of insecure attachment styles. And when we move from insecure to a secure attachment style, then that is another type of a healing journey in itself. Let's say you've gone through a loss, um, loss of identity, loss of a relationship, loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of a business, any kind of loss. And there is grieving process that you're going through. So until you sit and complete the 5 stages of grief, then all these blocks will block you from receiving. वो तो है आपके आसपास है, आप रिसीव ही नहीं कर पा रहे हो. You are in guilt, anger, depression. आपको दिख ही नहीं रहा है, वो आपके आसपास है, ये सारी चीजें आपको ब्लॉक कर रही हैं. Like Suchi was saying कि when someone was earlier, she used to get very fearful कि कोई if if someone is showing love, then she would become very fearful कि ये छूट जाएगा, abandon हो जाऊंगी. तो वो तो है ना, वो तो आ रहा है, वो तो है, पर हम ही ने उसके आगे blocks create कर रखे हैं. So that's an attachment style, insecure attachment style that needs to be eradicated. So diagnose कि कहाँ है प्रॉब्लम, किन किन चीजों में प्रॉब्लम है, और एक एक करके उन चीजों को सॉल्व करना शुरू करो. एंड यू सी कि लाइफ विल स्टार्ट टू, ऐसा नहीं कि सारी जब तक पूरा सब हो नहीं जाएगा तब तक आपको, आपने एक पे भी काम किया, एक को भी सॉल्व किया, तो यू सी अ बिग चेंज, अ बिग ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इन योर लाइफ. एंड दैट चेंज, दैट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इटसेल्फ विल मोटिवेट यू टू कीप गोइंग ऑन दिस जर्नी. अब रुकना नहीं है. अब इतने से इतना रिजल्ट आया है, अभी मजा आ रहा है, अभी लाइफ बेटर हो रही है, यू फील ट्रांसफॉर्म, यू वांट टू कीप finding more, you want to keep healing yourself more out of these. So the more you do this, the more you identify these blocks and you heal them, then love is already there. तो उसके लिए कुछ करना नहीं है, उसके लिए बस वो रास्ते के पत्थर साफ कर दें.
Got it. And I think that e-learning journey is all about all this. What
We
you have.
have e-learning journeys, correct. So e-learning
Hmm.
journeys हमने जो create की हैं, वो हमने mainly इसी purpose से create की हैं, क्योंकि for many people taking one-on-one coaching is not possible. They are unable to afford that. So it is purely from an affordability point. That was our intention. जब हमने उनको create किया था, हमने affordability का point ही दिमाग में रख के उसको create किया था कि people are not able to do that. So then it's a DIY style. So वहाँ पे आपको virtual hand holding मिलेगी. So it's not, we won't be able to spend our personal time with each person to identify. But हाँ, हमने वो वहाँ पे वो जर्नी क्रिएट की है, कॉन्टेम्पलेशन क्वेश्चंस, असाइनमेंट्स, होमवर्क, वो सब कुछ दिया है. जस्ट लाइक अगर हम किसी के साथ वन ऑन वन कोचिंग कर रहे होते तो हम ये सब पूछते, इस तरह की जर्नी उनके साथ लेते और ये करते. तो मैनी पीपल हैव फाउंड दैट क्वाइट इफेक्टिव एज वेल. पर अगर आपको लगता है कि नहीं, मेरी तो मुझसे ये इसी ई लर्निंग जर्नीज करने के लिए, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, यू हैव टू बी वेरी डिसिप्लिन. व्हेन आई से वेरी, मतलब we recommend कि at least give yourself 30 minutes a day. So someone needs to hold you accountable and all that. पर आपको वहां पे कोई accountable तो hold कर नहीं रहा है, हम तो है नहीं, देख नहीं रहे आप कर रहे हो नहीं कर रहे हो, आज की नहीं की. तो if you are a kind of person who you feel कि you are quite disciplined and you can hold yourself accountable, then go for it, because it's very cost effective and it's there, and we've poured all our experience of 25 years into that one to create that. So 3 month subscription only cost $800. So that is what our intention was. More and more people should subscribe to it without even thinking twice कि इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट, इट इज अर्जेंट, आई वांट टू सॉल्व दिस, तो अब करो, तो इट्स देयर। तो हमारा इंटेंशन ही वही था कि पीपल शुड नॉट थिंक ट्वाइस कि ये तो बहुत एक्सपेंसिव है, आई डोंट हैव टाइम। निकाल सकते हो 30 मिनट्स पर डे, अपने आप को डिसिप्लिन कर सकते हो, अकाउंटेबल होल्ड कर सकते हो, नथिंग लाइक। hundreds of people have already benefited from it. So people in our group only all the time they talk about it. So it's there. Proof is in front of everyone already. तो वो है। और अगर लगता है नहीं हो सकता है, हाँ मेरे से नहीं हो पाता है, आई कांट होल्ड माई सेल्फ, मेरा ध्यान इधर उधर हो जाता है, एंड आई नीड समवन टू बी होल्डिंग मी अकाउंटेबल, तो उसके लिए से देन अप्रोच अस फॉर वन ऑन वन कोचिंग इफ यू नीड टू डू दैट। So those two things are there.
Got it. Got it. And secondly, one more thing was there. So if someone reaches to that state of being, or I would say that self-love is there, then that need of respect which we have, or I would say that want is there in the relationship, that goes away. Or I'll say that if
आप
when
अटैचमेंट
we are
स्टाइल
in
जर्नी ही कर लोगे ना, अटैच, हाँ वंस यू फिनिश द अटैचमेंट स्टाइल जर्नी, ये क्वेश्चंस आपके वहीं डिसॉल्व होने शुरू हो जाएंगे, बिकॉज यू
okay,
विल स्टार्ट टू सी कि ये आ कहाँ से रहा है। और
okay,
वंस दैट अवेयरनेस कम्स ना, द थिंग इज कि जब तक हमें अवेयरनेस नहीं होती है ना, हम वो करते रहते हैं। सो इट्स नॉट कि वी आर ब्लेमिंग एनीवन, जब वो तो हम वी आर इग्नोरेंट, तो इग्नोरेंस में हो रहा है तो फिर वो तो उसके लिए तो हम किसी को ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते ना। तो वो तो हो रहा था, अभी तक हमें पता ही नहीं था कि हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं। लेकिन जब वो अवेयरनेस आनी शुरू हो जाती है, जब आपको दिखना शुरू हो जाता है कि आप किस टाइप के अटैचमेंट स्टाइल की वजह से ये कर रहे थे और ये पैटर्न है, तो जब आपको वो कॉन्टेम्पलेशन क्वेश्चन करते हुए जब वो दिखने लगता है, दिखने के बाद आपसे हो ही नहीं पाएगा वो। आप करने की कोशिश भी करोगे तो आप इतने अवेयर होगे उस चीज के बारे में कि वो करते करते बोलते बोलते आपको रियलाइज हो रहा होगा कि मैं फिर कर रहा हूँ, तो देखो फिर हो रहा है, और यू विल होल्ड योर सेल्फ बैक, यू विल स्टार्ट टू इंटरप्ट योर सेल्फ, एंड दैट इज द हीलिंग पार्ट। कि पहले तो हो जा रहा था, पहले तो बाद में पता चलता था, ये पता भी नहीं चलता था, अब करते करते या करने से पहले ही आपको रियलाइज होता है कि ये देखो मेरे को फिर ये अर्ज आ रही है, मेरे को फिर ये हो रहा है। तो you start to self-assess yourself ये यहाँ से आ रहा है, and then you hold, you pause, you take a step back कि अब ये करूँ या नहीं करूँ। तो वो करते करते अपने आप हीलिंग होनी शुरू हो जाती है। तो ये अपने आप ये नीड्स, ये अर्जेस, ये डिजायर्स, ये सारी चीजें अपने आप रिसोर्सफुल होने लगती हैं कि नाउ यू सी कि अच्छा ये मेरे को करना है, बट अब मेरे को ये इस तरह से नहीं, कि इसको मैं और बेटर तरीके से कैसे कर सकता हूँ।
इसमें ये डिजायर या नीड खत्म हो जाता है क्या? देयर इज नो नीड, देयर इज नो वांट।
नहीं, डिजायर और नीड खत्म नहीं हो जाएगा, डिजायर और नीड को फुलफिल करने के लिए आप बेटर रास्ते अपनाने लगोगे,
ओके,
राइट। जैसे पहले हम उन्हीं चीजों को एक्वायर करने के लिए मैनिपुलेशन कर रहे हैं, टेंट्रम्स थ्रो कर रहे हैं, एंगर दिखा रहे हैं, एंटाइटलमेंट दिखा रहे हैं, किसी को ऑब्लिगेटेड फील करा रहे हैं, फियर से एक्ट कर रहे हैं। आपको ये चीजें दिखनी शुरू हो जाएंगी कि ये मैं ये ऐसे कर रहा हूँ, मुझे ऐसे नहीं करना।
गॉट इट,
तो
गॉट इट।
उसको बेटर तरीके से करना है, उसको हम सिक्योर अटैचमेंट स्टाइल बोलते हैं। सो स्टिल एन अटैचमेंट स्टाइल, बट फ्रॉम इनसिक्योर यू मूव इनटू अ सिक्योर अटैचमेंट स्टाइल।
Got it. Okay. And one last thing. So, if we are in that state of being again, and let's say if someone is saying badly to us in a rude way, right, or not in a respectable way, so will that not get affected to us?
वंस अगेन द अवेयरनेस विल स्टार्ट टू कम। आप चीजों को उस तरह से लोगे ही नहीं। आपको ये दिखना शुरू हो जाएगा कि मैं इसको इस तरह से ले क्यों रहा था। आपके परसेप्शन चेंज होने लगेंगे, तो आपके रिस्पॉन्सेज चेंज होने लगेंगे।
Got it. Okay.
और एक और ब्यूटीफुल चीज होती है, सो इसके भी बहुत सारे लेवल्स एंड लेयर्स हैं, बट व्हेन वी स्टार्ट दिस जर्नी, व्हेन वी एक्चुअली डू दिस, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हमें पेन नहीं होगा, हर्ट नहीं होगा, बट हम उसको पकड़ के नहीं रखेंगे। ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे इमोशंस कहीं चले जाएंगे या फिर ऑल ऑफ दीज इमोशंस आर देयर। सिचुएशंस भी होती है कभी कभी, एक्चुअली सिचुएशनली गुस्सा आता है, बट वो गुस्सा आपको जब आएगा व्हेन यू फील एंग्री और व्हेन यू फील, तो वो उस सिचुएशन के लिए आएगा, इसके लिए नहीं क्योंकि बचपन में किसी ने आपको ऐसा फील कराया था एंड देन यू गॉट ट्रिगर्ड एंड देन यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग स्टोरी एंड एडिंग मीनिंग टू दैट स्टोरी कि इसने मुझे ऐसा इसलिए बोला होगा उसलिए बोला होगा। हाँ, उस सिचुएशन में लेट्स सपोज समबडी इज अनोइंग, आप अनॉय भी हो गए, कोई नहीं, जो बोलना है बोल भी दिया, बट देन यू कम आउट ऑफ दैट सिचुएशन, यू कम आउट ऑफ दैट सिचुएशन कि ये हो गया। अभी ऐसा नहीं कि आपने पकड़ के रखा, द प्रॉब्लम इज कि अभी हम उसमें स्टोरी तो सेम है बट वी एड आवर ओन मीनिंग बेस्ड अपॉन आवर ओन एक्सपीरियंसेस, हम प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं एंड देन उसको बहुत जोर से पकड़ लेते हैं एंड देन वी कीप थिंकिंग अबाउट इट, व्हाई डिड दैट पर्सन से दैट, अगली बार मिलेगा ना देन आई वुड डू दिस डू दैट, हम उसको रबर की तरह स्ट्रेच करते रहते हैं, तब आपके पास रीजन ही नहीं होगा स्ट्रेच करने का। किसी ने आपको हर्ट किया, यू विल से कि इवन यू कैन से कि यू आर नॉट सपोज टू स्पीक टू मी लाइक दैट, या फिर कोई ऐसी सिचुएशन होगी जिसमें मे बी इट्स नॉट योर गर्लफ्रेंड, मे बी इट्स नॉट योर वाइफ, नॉट योर पेरेंट्स, कॉलीग, तो आपको फर्क भी नहीं पड़ेगा, यू फील लाइक कि व्हाई डू आई वेस्ट माई एनर्जी, मुझे नहीं चेंज करना है, मुझे इसमें कोई रेजोल्यूशन नहीं चाहिए, तो यू जस्ट लीव इट, you won't keep yourself busy with all those thoughts, so this happens.
So she brought up a good point, and I thought कि I'll just quickly clarify this because we've used the word trigger a lot. So trigger मतलब क्या होता है कि जब कोई आपको, मान लो कि कोई आया, उसने आपके ऊपर गुस्सा किया, आपको इंसल्ट फील हुई या कुछ हुआ, तो ऐसा नहीं है अगर मच्छर काटेगा तो दर्द तो होगा, तो ऐसा नहीं कि हम रोबोट्स बन गए हैं और हमारे पास इमोशंस नहीं है, इमोशंस हैं, कोई इवेंट हुई, उस इवेंट से रिलेटेड जो इमोशन क्रिएट हुआ वो हुआ, दैट्स वन थिंग, बट हम उसको ट्रिगर का नाम कब देते हैं, जब इस इमोशन या उस इवेंट को आप पास्ट की कुछ चीजों से रिलेट कर लो, देखो मैं पहले भी ऐसे, मैं तो ऐसा हूँ, मेरे तो लोग ऐसे करते, ये करते वो करते, जब आप स्टोरीज ऐड करने लगते हो, दैट इज एन इंडिकेशन ऑफ अ वुंड, कि ये तो कोई नया इंसान ही आया था जो आपको जानता भी नहीं, कुछ भी बोल दिया, उसको आपने पता नहीं कहाँ की कौन सी बात से रिलेट कर दिया कि ये आपको कुछ मेमोरी ट्रिगर हो गई, फिर से ये ऐसे होता है मेरे साथ, हमेशा ऐसे होता है, मेरे को हमेशा लोग ऐसे ही ट्रीट करते हैं, मेरे को ये बोलते हैं वो बोलते हैं, तो ये इसको हम वुंड बोलते हैं, दिस इज अ ट्रिगर। पर किसी ने कुछ बोला, उस टाइम पे आपको गुस्सा आया या इरिटेशन या कुछ हुआ और वो गाया और गया, वो आपने एक्सप्रेस किया और खत्म, उसमें कुछ ना ऐड हुआ ना सब्ट्रैक्ट हुआ, दैट्स नॉट अ ट्रिगर दैट। तो हम यहाँ पे कोई इमोशनलेस रोबोट्स नहीं बन रहे, गुस्सा आएगा किसी की बात पे, इरिटेशन होगी, फ्रस्ट्रेशन होगी, पर कुछ ऐड नहीं कर रहे हम पास्ट का, उसमें कोई नई स्टोरीज बिल्ड नहीं कर रहे अपनी सेल्फ वर्थ के ऊपर या अपने ऊपर, अपने आप को विक्टिम कि फिर हो गया मेरे साथ, फिर ऐसे ही होता है मेरे साथ, तो सब लोग आके ऐसे ही करते हैं, मेरे को तो ऐसे ही ट्रीट करते हैं, ये होता है वो होता है, ये हो रहा है, तो दैट्स एन इंडिकेशन ऑफ अ वुंड।
Yeah. I think got it. All my questions are answered.
Awesome, Ashwini,
क्योंकि
we
कई बार
answered.
लोग,
Yeah.
कई बार
एक-
people are doing these journeys or coaching work and many times we hear this ना, people say मुझे तो अभी भी गुस्सा आता है, मुझे तो अभी भी होता है, that's fine। हम किसी का, हम गुस्से का कोई इलाज नहीं कर रहे, हम फियर का कोई इलाज नहीं कर रहे, यहाँ पे हम वुंड्स का इलाज कर रहे हैं। फियर, गुस्सा, इरिटेशन, फ्रस्ट्रेशन से जब तक ये बॉडी है ये लगा रहेगा, तो जब हम मरेंगे तभी जाएगा ये। द थिंग टू बी अवेयर कि क्या हम स्टोरीज ऐड कर रहे हैं उसमें, am I bringing things from past and adding to this experience, adding to this event that is happening, that is what we need to be aware of। हाँ,
yeah, I was just saying that Ashwini, we answered the question you had put in the text box, but at that point of time you were not there, so
Actually,
please
I've
listen
had
to
some
the
data
recording.
issues.
Okay,
But I'll listen to the recording. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you. Yes, it was wonderful, a wonderful discussion. Thank you so much, Ronak. I mean, you asked like the questions which are, like really common questions we all have as humans. So thank you so much for asking these questions. People who will be listening to this recording will actually benefit a lot. Maybe they will get a lot of clarity. So thanks for that. And anybody else has any questions, and then we will wrap up.
Can I say like
Yeah, please.
question? Can I send it to you, or should I post it in the group?
Yeah, you can ask it here if you feel comfortable.
I missed discussion. Right? I don't know if there's a continuation of the whatever question I had.
You can ask in the group also if you want. That's okay. We can
Yeah.
continue the conversation in the group.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye. Good night.
Yeah, no
Cool.
problem.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you. Okay, guys,
Thank
if
you.
anybody else wants to talk about
Thank
anything,
you. Thank you for
Yeah.
a call again. Such a
I
nice,
think
Thank
let's
interesting
you.
wrap
topic.
up. It's late, huh? Okay.
Yes,
But
yes.
And
Group is
Atharva
and
there.
and
we can
Anamika, I'm still looking forward for the Anamika, like you quoted with the question, what is self and what is the start and the end. The people had another questions to be catered first. So I will be looking forward to understand that from you, because I have some statements for that in my mind. But what exactly is the self then? Because I think it's like I'm like
why
just
don't you post those statements in the groups, Sina? Let's have the conversation there. Post. Let's continue there.
yeah, that will be a
Whatever
very good
statements
idea
you have in
actually.
mind.
Yeah,
हाँ,
that will be a good idea. Yeah. Thank you so much.
ठीक है.
Good night, guys. Good night,
Okay.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank
Good
you,
night. Good night,
everyone. Have a
everyone.
great
Bye.
evening. Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye.